here we go. I'm here with Sid Coops.
Hey, what's up?
Come on, the one and only.
What's
Man,
up?
what's good? What's good? We in the building.
Hey, in my home.
Of course, man. I love the elegancy of the home, man. Got it going on.
I appreciate it.
This is home, man.
Yeah.
This is where it's at. This is where you create the magic.
Definitely do.
Come on. The home. Well, Sid Coops, man, we are going to flow right into this interview.
All right.
With a couple questions. And first thing I wanted to ask you is tell me briefly about yourself.
Okay. As far as me, Sid Coops, I've been rapping since I was 12. I discovered, this would be funny, it's a funny story. My first favorite rapper, not the first rapper that I heard of, but my first favorite rapper was actually Eminem, believe it or not, back in the day, the Slim Shady M. And I just love his storytelling, his boldness, his aggression. I loved it all. Just the whole energy, how he was able to put words together and just deliver in a way. It made me want to do it, so I messed with it, and just growing up in Kansas City, I didn't realize that I was in my own world with music until I got older, until I got to high school. Because, see, I was listening to a lot of the East Coast. And then when we get to high school, you got the McDre and all of that. So, I had to get hip to a lot of that stuff. So, with me, just music has always been a big part of me. And I just always knew I wanted to do it. But I didn't realize I could rap until I got to be 12. And didn't really come out of the box until I was in my early 20s. Time and time again, I would stop, continue. Up until now, I'm just really, being more consistent now and trying to take more initiation with my craft. And to be honest, like, I feel like I'm probably more inspired now than I have been in a long time. So I'm just really ready to get it and give people something special, something that they've been needing and waiting for. So yeah, just a little depiction about me, and born and raised in Kansas City, Kansas. So yeah, that's just a little history about me, about your girl.
I love it. As rappers, and human beings, there's a certain identity. It's almost like a separate alter ego kind of perspective. Can you describe to me Sid Coops? Is she the same person as Sydney Cooper?
She is. It's really a nickname that derived from my name, Sydney Cooper. So I was in high school, and I remember a couple of my homeboys used to go around calling me Sid Coops. I said, man, I like that name because originally it was Sid Kid. And what's funny is that there is a Sid Kid. And I was like, nah, I can't have that name. Somebody already got it. So they really helped me in time. And Sid Coops just stuck with me. It was the truest thing from me. Baby girl. Look at baby girl. This is my baby girl, Soraya. Say hi.
Oh, man.
Hi. You say hi.
I see y'all got on the same fit. Okay, looking saucy.
Oh, yeah, it did. Okay.
What's it like being a mother, to this?
It's beautiful. She's made me better. She's humbled me in a lot of ways and slowed me down. Gave me a different outlook and perspective of life. She's definitely a blessing. You gonna tell everybody how old you are? Look at you 3. How old you gonna be next? 4. Okay, that's what's up. Her name's Soraya. Soraya, baby girl. What's up, man?
Oh yeah. Okay, man. Oh look, I love the family unity. I love the family love, man. Who is this right here? Cause he's dripped out, man. Got some swag.
My name's Jeremiah.
Here's the camera. You gonna go look in the camera and show yourself?
My name's Jeremiah. I'm 7 years old. Yeah.
Okay. 7 years old with the swag. You've been a part of a lot of the music videos. I haven't seen you a part of a lot of it, man. What's your feeling like getting involved in, the Sid Coops music video movement? Your dad, he raps, Gustavo. Man, what's it like just being a part of all this, man? Because you got some swag to you, brother.
It feels good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
My first time in videos.
Right.
Yeah, and more to come, right? Yeah.
Man, you plan on doing this when you get over there, man? Like,
Here you go.
getting in the music game?
There you go. So yeah, he be rapping. He's been rapping.
Are you rapping?
He be flowing. He be
Okay.
catching the beat. He caught his flow.
Okay.
He be putting some words together. He just keep practicing, and we get him on the mic soon enough. That's what he want to do though.
Facts.
Ain't no forcing it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Well, I like the right track you're going, man. You definitely got some swag, man. You be anything you want to be, man. You got the model swag. You got the gear. You got the confidence.
Oh, look at you. We gonna say thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we gonna finish this interview.
No, that's cool. What I like most about this environment is the family unity, the love,
for sure.
and I believe it just initiates over into the music in itself.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right.
You know, and we want to keep it as authentic as possible. You know how you know me. I was trying to go somewhere else and stuff, but we was like, nah, we can do it right here in the home. We got enough space and lighting for it, so we'll just make it happen.
Right.
Ain't nothing better here. This is my comfort zone. This is where I do a lot of my craft, and this is where I'm recording at the time. So you know, hey, why not? Why not start here?
Why not? The home is the lab, man. You know,
Exactly.
and like you said, it's a comfort zone. It's where we create the masterpieces, right? It's where we can create a moment of stillness is at the house. And that stillness is not only where you find God, but you find your creative mind to be able to create these masterpieces.
Exactly. And to finish your question, I was just saying, like with Sid Coops, you know, that's just more of a more in-depth version of Sydney Cooper. You know, it's not two different people. They're one and the same. People know me as Sid. Some people call me Sid. Some people call me Coops. Some people call me Sydney. They all the same. It's just that with Sid Coops, I'm able to. That's my more swagged out version. This is Sid Coops. The woman Sid Coops, Sydney Cooper. That's the one that, I'm a mother. Those are the different variations and layers of me. That's Sydney Cooper. With Sid Coops, I'm able to be in a space like this, express myself in a more artistic way, get more in depth about my emotions and my thought process, and that's where it comes out in the music. And that's not something I'm able to express all the time, so that's why you see in the music, it comes out the way it does, because there's a lot of emotions and thoughts bottled up that I don't get to express or show on a regular basis. So that's what Sid Coops symbolizes.
I love it. What made you want to become a rapper?
Like I said, just hearing Eminem did a lot for me. And I know that might sound crazy with him being the type of rapper he is, Caucasian or whatever, but at the time you didn't hear people coming out saying Eminem was their favorite rapper, especially a female. I think it's more popular today, but at the time, he just did something for me. Of course, I knew the Pacs and everything, but even from him, I started to appreciate the Pacs more. You know what I'm saying? The Andre 3000s, people like that, Biggie, people that he looked up to were people that were some of the greatest rappers of all time, and I then went from him to studying other people. And I just love the art form. I just love how you could, it's almost like, this is what I always related the music to. For me, it's like Clark Kent. Clark Kent is at work. Clark Kent is professional. He's a person. They only see this one side of him, but later on you see he takes off the glasses and everything in the uniform. I feel like that's a lot of us, especially, in Black America. You go into a job, you kind of feel like you do have to put on a different persona slightly. It's still you, but you can't fully be yourself 100%. So the cape is really my music. And I feel like with that, I feel like it's a cape because I'm saving lives, because I can express myself in a way where people can relate. And it's just like my superpower. It's my gift that God gifted me with. And I just always related it to that. So yeah, I just like the fact that I was able to do what I wanted. I've always had rules in life. And my music, there were no rules. You couldn't tell me what I could say, how I could say it. You couldn't tell me anything, and it was a way for me to escape, and that's why I always drew to it. It was the one place I could escape from my reality and just do what I wanted to do. It was also therapeutic.
Very profound answer. I love that. I was, especially the Clark Kent analogy. I can relate to that on so many ways.
Yeah.
And I believe everybody that has a profession can relate to that. That was very profound. I love it.
When you're a creator, you can relate to it.
Man, facts. One love to all the creators in the world. For real, no, that is facts. Another question I wanted to ask you is, what style did your music originate from? To me, on the audience looking in, I like it. To me, you have this like New York type of vibe. You know, I'm always gonna say that. You always have this New York type of vibe, and I'm like, damn, is she from New York? Because I love it, right? You can fit in with that. So that's from my perspective, and I love it. But where did your style originate from? I'm curious.
And that's what's crazy. I listened to a lot of East Coast at first, right? This was starting off, and I had to go back and honestly think about this while I've been rapping over the years. I didn't come to me at first, but that's really where it came from. I found that it was my most original sound. I did at one point try to sound like a diamond from a crime mob or a princess for crime mob. I wasn't being myself. I tried to do the prissy voices and all that stuff at one point, and it was just never me. I felt like I was being someone I'm not. When I just started finding my true voice and I was listening to a lot of East Coast music over the years, I realized that was just naturally me. And I related it to more. It was very natural for me to rap that way. And I just remember there was a girl that I knew that rapped as well, and I gotta actually shout her out. Her name was Narissa. And I don't even know if she'll ever see this, but Narissa actually would critique me on my music. This is when I would take critiquing very well. Like, all criticism is not bad. But I had her and this other dude, I knew they would critique me, and they was like, you good, Sid, but you know you can work on your this and your flow and things like that. And so I remember we got on a song together, and she just killed it. But I'm gonna tell you right now, she inspired me. And when I got on that song, I realized that our styles complemented each other. It was like two New York rappers. You could put MC Lyte and Queen Latifah on the same track, and that would have been us. And you can debate about who was Queen Latifah, who was MC Lyte, but when I got on that track, she was like, yo, you killed that. That was the first time she told me I was raw. And right then and there, I felt like, dang, I'm sounding like I'm supposed to sound. So that she really helped me find my niche of my sound, because people were saying I gotta find my style, and I really, it's almost like when somebody tells you gotta find your style, you understand it, but you don't fully understand it. It was really hard to find it, because you like my style. Like, I know what my style is. I like a lot of stuff, you know, but you have to find what's most authentic to you, what's true to you. Don't try to force nothing. Be you. Bring your personality out. Bring your emotions out. And she helped me do that. And ever since then, it's just been go. I noticed that was the same thing I could stick with amongst anything else. I was like, this is me. And it's hard. It's crazy. I look back, and it was always East Coast that inspired me. Without knowing it, it did, because that was the first thing that I was listening to. I was a big Eminem fan. I was big on the 50 Cent G Unit movement. I was big on all of that. The Game. I was big on West Coast too, but the South, the dirty South didn't come until later, and then the Midwest music didn't come until later. But now, you couldn't tell me which one's my favorite. Like, I love it all. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a big hip hop head. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna bump some McDre one day. I can switch it up. I'm an old school hip hop head, but I'm learning to love the new music, and that's really where it stems from. I'm learning to take my style and bring that sound to the new school. And people always say that, like you said, New York. I remind them of the East Coast, which is crazy. But I think it's just something. It's like you put anybody in an environment. Like, if you put me in a jungle, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna learn how to adapt. I got to. I'm going to become some sort of animal in a sense, because that's what I know, that's what I'm around. So it's just like when you study something so long and it's the truest thing to you, you could it becomes a part of you. I am born and raised in KC, and I love the Midwest sound. I love the KC sound, but that's not my original style, and I couldn't force myself to sound like that. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't be me. You see what I'm saying? So, to answer your question, yeah, that's really what it was. Just listening to a lot of East Coast old school '90s hip hop back in the day, growing up. So yeah. So thanks to you, Narissa, for helping me discover my sound, and also thanks to my bro, my oldest brother Evan, because I stole a lot of his CDs when he moved out the house. I took a lot of them CDs, got me hip to a lot of hip hop. So thank you as well.
Yes. So the next question I wanted to ask, there are like 2 questions in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, do you think age matters in hip hop? And what is your creative process like when you're creating these songs?
To answer your question, the first question, no, I don't think there's an age limit. But I will say I used to, but I'm going to tell you why. Hip hop is the only genre that puts an age limit on rapping, right? We've always thought you had to be young and fresh. You see a lot of the younger artists being the ones that come out and make it. But now we're in a time to where you have people like a Griselda, like Benny Butcher and Westside Gunn, or you might have like a Don Tripp. You have somebody, these people are older than me, and they late 30s, early 40s, and they are big. They rapping, they making it. And I think they set the tone that real spitters can exist and we can be respected. And I really appreciate that, because there was a time when I was like, man, I might have to hang it up. But I definitely don't think that no more, because I'm seeing it be done. And then I see a KRS-One and an Ice Cube still touring, still killing it, Bone Thugs even. I've seen so many old school artists that can still, Lauryn Hill still touring. You gonna tell me that I can't? Yeah, right. Nah. Hip hop needs to get out of that, because I think you need both. I think you need the aged hip hop, and I think you need the young, because we can both learn from each other. And you need hip hop for the older people, because we're not young no more. My music is maturing. I'm not talking about certain things. We live in life. We talking about raising our kids. We talking about struggles, trials, tribulations. We're not talking about just nonsense, just having fun, turning up all the time, because that's not what we on. That's not what we're doing. We're raising kids, building foundations, getting closer to God. We're trying to set the tone for the next generation to come. And I think those things need to be talked about in music. And I definitely want to be a part of that, especially being a woman in this industry. A woman needs to be able to talk about what women, not just what women go through, but show that women go through some of them same struggles as men, because it's not always just one-sided. Women have been locked up. Women have did some things in the street. Not saying me per se, but there's women out here that get down like that. And I think women need to just stop, putting themselves in a box, and we need to focus on the more positive side, the more inspirational, motivational side of things. When you go to church and you want to hear a pastor talk to you about your next miracle, well, it's not always about your next miracle. It's about the struggle and the pain too. We ain't always turning up. We ain't always celebrating. We're going through real life situations. So hip hop needs that aged hip hop as well. They need aged artists such as myself. The good thing about me is that I don't look my age. I look younger. So I think I can relate to the younger crowd as well and get them on board. And I think that's that's my space within this music. If I have a lane, that's where I'm going to come in, and that's where I'm going to bring something new. So to answer your question, no, there's not an age limit. The second question, how do I get inspired, or what is my creative process like in creating these songs?
Yes.
You know what? It's always different. I don't force concepts. Sometimes I'll just write my thoughts and then I come up with the title later. Sometimes that title ain't even nowhere in the song, but I'm like, what is the song about? And then I'll come up with a title. I'm not a typical writer. I don't write in the format that everybody wants you to write. I write my way. Sometimes I have one verse, like What's Real, had 2 hooks and 1 long verse. I write my way. I'm unorthodox. My creative process, I have even tried freestyling, doing punch-ins on a song, and it can turn out to be one of my hardest, funnest songs ever that I have not released. And I might release it, I don't know, but I literally was up all night. I just went in the booth and I pulled a Wayne. I went in there, punched in 4 bars, stopped, punched in another 4 bars and stopped. And it was fun. But that's not how I normally record. I normally just write to the beat, go over it, and then go in there. So it just really depends on my mood, my vibe. My mood changes like the season. So some days I want to wear heels, some days I want to wear tennis shoes. Like, I'm really a mood person. My music is the same way. Sometimes I'll just sit in the room and I'll write on the laptop or in my phone. I record how I sound on the voice memo and I'll go down there and I'll lay it. Sometimes I might sit on a song for months and then record it later. It just really depends. So to answer your question, Jackie, it's unorthodox. It's not a one way. I just find a way to get in my zone and be like, what do I want to let out today, Sid? But the question I can say, I want to ask, how is this going to change somebody when they listening to it? That is the thing that I always ask myself. Before you want to rap about something negative or rap about violence, how is this going to motivate a person? How is this going to change somebody's life? And I always construct my song around that and what I'm currently going through. So.
Damn. That's deep. That's deep. Yeah. No, I'm getting inspired just listening to you. Like, I'm just actively listening to you, and I'm learning so much.
I appreciate
You're such an inspiration, right? I'm just listening, and I'm taking what you're saying into consideration, right? And you're telling a story.
I appreciate that.
And when people see this, I believe everybody's gonna relate to it, because I'm relating to it. Yeah. I'm as quiet as a mouse because I'm just stuck listening and inspired. Let me ask you.
That.
What inspires Sid Coops to keep going and to keep moving forward?
Wow. You know, it's that passion I have, that desire for music. It's just in me. Some things you can't explain. God gives you a passion, and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that passion can become an idol, because I don't ever want to put nothing and make anything an idol before God. I want to make sure that I'm putting God first, so my passion can be used for good and for what He wants it to be used for. Because one thing I've learned is that it's not about me; it's bigger than me. And when I hear people like yourself, when people tell me what my music does for them, that is really one of the greatest feelings, because I feel like I'm helping the next person, because I know music helped me in times of my life and still does. And I always wanted to, like I mentioned earlier, I always wanted to create the music that I listen to. So I really aspire to be just that. When I've performed songs and I've heard people tell me that, you know, it changed their life, you know, when they cried, it brought them tears or something like that, like they really feel me. And it's the one place that I feel understood. I'm not going to even lie to you, because I feel very misunderstood on a regular. So when people hear my music, it's the one place where I'm understood. It's like I can have a conversation with you, and you probably only going to maybe remember or maybe even like 20% of what I say sometimes. But if I put what I just said in that conversation in a song, you might like that way better. You gonna be like, oh, I like what you just said, but you put it in a song. And for some reason, the song, you say very little in a certain amount of time, and people rock with it. I don't know why, but that just seems to be the truth. It's just, you know, I kind of have this funny saying, like, in my head that I never put out. But when I go to my shows, right, I might have a fake person rapping my lyrics, and they might say Sid is a real. She seems like she's a real artist, or she seems like she's a pretty solid individual. I like her music. I relate to it. She's so real, and they might be a really fake person, right? But for some reason, that fake person likes my music though. Does that make you see what I'm saying? It's just mute to say like the most craziest, insane people love music. There's 3 things or 4 things in this world that everybody likes, and I hate to say these things, but it's of course money, sex, food, and music are the 4 things. But it can be people's downfall too. Music can be the same way, and I've had to learn that what we put in our ears and what we put out to the universe is very important. So there are some songs that I will not put out just because of that. I want to make sure, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I try to be very cautious about what I put out into the universe, and that is what keeps me going, because I see how it affects other people when they hear a song. I see how people I see how they react. I see how they feel, and that makes me feel like I'm helping. Like I'm using God's gift that He gave me, my God-given gift and talent, to help others and inspire others. So if I can do that, I don't care if it's 1 person, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm still gonna do it, and it helps me because it's therapeutic and it's my safe space. So yeah, that's what keeps motivates me to keep going.
I like that. I love the growth.
Yeah.
I love the growth.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And with growth, a lot of people don't realize the growth comes from, of course, the process and also consistency, right? There's been times where we all felt like giving up. I felt like giving up on videography and photography, but I knew it was a bigger meaning, right? You know what I'm saying? So there was a higher calling. That higher calling is always God.
Yes, it is. It definitely is.
What keeps you consistent in this music game to keep going?
Man, because I'm only getting older. To be honest with you, I mean, that might sound crazy. I'm getting older. I'm not getting younger. I see. I'm looking up and I look back, and you would be amazed at how many EPs I was supposed to put out, or how many mixtapes, albums, whatever, projects, period, I was supposed to put out. And I could tell you a whole story, but at the end of the day, it's just gonna be excuses. I'm not saying I didn't have some reasons to go through some setbacks, but at the end of the day, no matter what the excuse or the reason is, we're going to be the reason why things don't work out. We're going to be the reason. Even if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, or you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, either it's God knows you're not ready, or He's not ready for you, or you're not doing something right. You got to take a step back and look yourself in the mirror. And sometimes it may not be your calling. Like, you can have a gift, and I think God wants you to use your gift, but I've had to ask God too, like, is this what you want me to do? And I believe He has put it on my heart that He wants me to do this, but He wants me to use it for good. And I know I'm going to use it to not only just spread truth about my life and the things that are going on in the world, the things that I witnessed and experienced, but to just shed light on Him. And you know, at the end of the day, it's always going to come back to positivity and shed light on Him throughout my music. And I know you mentioned the other day, you said like you feel like with my music is going in a different direction and I said I wouldn't call myself what you said. I ain't even gonna say it on camera, but but I wasn't against it. I was just like, I wouldn't put that on because I know I'm still on my journey, and I just know that I'm trying to use it for good. So yeah, that's what I will say is I'm just trying to make sure that I'm cautious about the things that I put out to the universe, and the consistency now is bigger to me because I have not accomplished a lot of things. I have not been where I want to be. I'm not satisfied, and I think there's just so many things around. There's no excuse. We live in a time where you able to do anything on your phone. Why not, Sid? Do it. And I see other people doing it, so it motivates me to do it. And I'm looking at what's going on in this world. I'm like, man, I don't know. You know, it's a lot going on. So it just lets me know, like, let me walk in my purpose. Let me go as hard as I can. But do it in the right way, of course. So yeah, that's my motivation. It's just time. I've wasted so much time over the years. I should have been further than what I am, but it's still not too late.
Never too late.
It's not too late.
Never too late. I believe each time we get older, we actually go into a new age of ourselves. Yeah. I wouldn't want to go back to the 22-year-old Jackie.
I'm telling you.
Dude running wild.
Definitely don't.
Trying to be somebody he's not.
Definitely not, yeah.
I wouldn't want. So each time we get older, we get wiser. We go into a new age of living.
Yeah.
And then we go into a new age of opportunity. So that's what every break God allows us to take.
Exactly.
We go into that new age of thinking.
Yeah.
And how can I better myself, but how can I better the other people around me? And in your case, how can I better other people around me with my music and my presence and my words?
Definitely. And even just deeper music, like, well, I know it's strictly about music, but it derives from that. It's just in general. You know, I take the story out the Bible about her name was Sarah. Her name was Sarai, which stems from my baby girl Sariah. That's why I named her that. But I think it is a beautiful story because she was 90-something years and gave up on having children. Back then, they wasn't having kids at 90-something, but guess what happened? She ended up having a child. She ended up having kids. Like, that just lets you know that there's no time. Society make you feel like there's a time, and it's not. You know, you just go after it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't accomplish something, still keep going, because what I'm learning is the work that we do, it's for God. God wants us to put in them hours. He wants to see how dedicated we are. Like, even with your job, sometimes you like, my boss is getting on my nerves. Okay, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing this for God. I'm doing this so God can prepare me for the next step. It's not about your boss. Don't take that boss personal because you working for God. You're not working for. They think you working for them, but let them think that. Let them think they empowered. The only one that's got the power is God. So if you keep Him first and you put your work in towards Him, trust me, there is no doubt that your blessings will fall through. And I think that's why a lot of things don't work out for us, because a lot of us don't put Him first. And I'm a victim of that as well. Still am. So yeah, but it's just a stepping stone.
I love it. Your level of self-awareness and self-reflection, and the way you're able to have an introspection within yourself is making you into a better person. And like you said, something very profound. You just have to look in the mirror.
Yeah, definitely.
And not complain, but also not complain would be a solution-based problem solver and be like, okay, instead of complaining, let's find a solution. And there's solutions everywhere.
Right.
With God. So, with that being said, many people face problems in their life, right? In their careers. What's it like being a female artist now, in this particular time frame? I know in the 80s and the 90s it was different, 2000s it was different. We're in the year 2024. For you, what is it like being a female artist now?
You know, I feel like it's there is more room. I'll say this: there is more room and opportunity for females, but at the same time, with the type of music that I'm making, it's a little bit more challenging because depending on what you're going for and where you're trying to go, it can determine, you know, how much success you can have. And my thing is, having the most success is not big for me no more. I just want enough people to appreciate me and get my music out here. I don't want to be the biggest star. I don't want to win the biggest awards, because that comes with a lot. And a lot of it comes with you losing yourself and your soul, which I don't want to do. But I do feel like it can be a little more challenging just because of the content I'm putting out. And a lot of people I won't say a lot of people, but I'll say there's a certain audience that doesn't want to hear that. But then you've got to find that right audience for you that wants to hear your music. So I do feel like there's definitely more opportunity than what it used to be. So I think it's a good thing. I just have to find my niche and find those that do like my type of music, because they out there. I do know that just from listening to other female artists out there and seeing how well they're doing, with the great reviews and responses I'm getting on YouTube and social media, there are men and women listening. And, it's just great to know that I have people out there that never met me that want to hear me. So I definitely think that there's a door waiting to be broken down. And I might be the one to do that, to break it down, because we need that space in hip hop, period, for the type of content I'm putting out, and also for a woman, a female rapper, a female artist. So, God willing, we gonna make it happen.
Right there. Come on, we gonna make it happen.
We gonna make it happen.
Facts. I like your determination.
Yeah, definitely.
Your perseverance, man. Like, you're determined to make this happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that will, your heart is just so strong that it vibrates throughout this whole room, into the world itself, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we have these cameras set up. That's why we have these microphones set up. So what you just said can touch millions, right?
Yeah.
Of people. And we're already speaking that into existence, right? And the words are powerful. A gift.
Yes,
right?
Definitely.
And like I said, I'm listening. So I'm gonna go to the next question.
Okay.
Doing very great. Very inspired by this interview, and I will listen to it over and over again when it comes out. Bro, this is dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My next question. We're almost down to the last two.
Okay.
We're almost down to the closing stages. You are doing an excellent job. Next question I wanted to ask you is: do you consider yourself as a local artist?
I don't at all. Now, a lot of people argue that, because a lot of people here are going to be like, who is she? Who is that? A lot of people ask that question, but I say that because I know I'm bigger than my city. I don't limit myself on my city. I know that my music is bigger than my city, and I don't ever limit myself on just where I'm from. And I know my music's meant to be played in movies. I have perfect songs that are meant to be played in movies, even commercials, you name it. I just can't wait to get it out there. Man, you name it. I do believe I'm a true artist, and I say that confidently, not arrogantly at all. I say that humbly, because I know that I still got room to grow, but I definitely believe in my vision, and I strive to make great music, not just with hip hop, but just great music that anybody could listen to. When people hear my music, I don't want them to think, oh, that hip hop artist. I just want them to say, oh, that's Syd. I want me to be my own lane. Like you said, playing my songs in a church, I want to be able to have anybody listen to it. So, and I believe my music will do that. I believe it already has, just by certain people that have tuned into certain songs. I think every song may not be like that, but certain songs like The Walk and Born Day, I think, are great examples of crossing over to other lanes, because you don't just think hip hop when you hear the song. They both inspire in two different ways. So that's what I aim to do, is inspire. And I believe KC is, I love my city, but I do believe KC might be the last ones to understand or witness the greatness that God is going to put me through. And I say that with God, because He's going to be the one that makes it happen, not people. It's going to be God, and you cannot come in between what God has for you, and that's with anyone. If what God has for you, it will be.
That is facts. That is factual. It will be. Next question. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah,
We're going to keep it going. That was deep. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, for
We're going to leave it at that. Okay. So, well, the next question is, when you think about this new era of music versus the old era, because there's a couple older generations that like that music's crap, I'm not listening, and they're kind of almost like stuck in a box and not wanting to like hear it actually, you know. So me being in my production and video, multimedia production, I'm forced to listen to it, and I like it.
Yeah,
right? I like the diversity.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the diversity, and you can learn from it.
You can.
So this is my perspective. What is your perspective on the new era music versus the old school music?
The new me is going to say that I like the diversity, like you said. And I say that as in, when I say, so I'll say this, it's great because it's a lot of opportunity. I do feel like at one point that it wasn't like that. I will say the radio needs to grow with diversity. The radio hasn't grown with diversity, but music overall, having access to music on your phone outside of the radio, there's diversity there. You can find anything you want. That if you don't like the radio, you ain't got to listen to it. But there's a lot of people that are not getting played on the radio that should, though. Do you know how many talented people I've heard that it's like, they not on the radio, you know? Like, I know people personally that definitely should have been on the radio. So, I just think that that's just how it is. But I do feel like with women, like female rappers, I think that we need to have diversity there, especially because, like I said before, there's a lot of female artists that are, listen, it's just one-sided. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not here to down anybody, but the content is not. And I have a different outlook. Like this, and people can say I'm biased, maybe because one, I'm not only getting older, but I have a daughter now, so I look at the things that she's gonna want to listen to, and when she hears certain songs or hears certain things on TikTok, it's like I shouldn't have to say change it so much. It shouldn't be to a point where it's just that awful to where we gotta change it because so-and-so's talking about this and that. So I want that diversity there. I think once we get that, it'll be better. And I'm striving to do that. I'm striving to be a part of that. But yeah, I think there's a lot of doors open, but I do feel like they try to keep certain types of music and content in certain areas, is what I'll say. So there's still room for growth. But today is a lot of diversity. We just need to get more artists such as myself through that door to be cracked because, hey, we might need to get some TikToks to the walk or something. I don't know. Maybe not that track, something else. But let's get some TikToks to something else. Why they ain't all gotta be the same type of songs, you know? Now they ain't all gotta be club songs. Let's get some more in-depth songs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. Somebody might break the ice. We gonna see who does it. We gonna see once they do it. We'll be making some progress. I'm just ready to break that barrier.
It's you. You're part of the movement.
Nah, I'm part of the movement.
You're part of the movement, so you're already breaking it. Like you said, it's a process, so that it takes time. So you keep chipping at it, the ice is gonna break.
Man, we gonna break it.
So you're part of the movement.
We're part of the movement for sure. For sure, I appreciate it.
No, that's facts. We gonna break the ice.
But I'm sorry, to answer your last, because you was talking about like the old. I like the old music, of course, but this new music. That's the one other thing I wanted to say. It's not just about the women too, but the content. I feel like if we could talk about how to get through things more instead of embracing, because when did pain became something you embrace? We've got a lot of artists out here crying out in their music, but they're celebrating and being on drugs and things like that, and it's like, That's not a good thing to celebrate. Talking about what you went through is this. That's fine. That's always been a expression in music, but we don't want to embrace it and promote it because there's a lot of people dying from drugs, and yeah, I do want to change that narrative, and the violence is crazy. It's like it's different. It's a lot of it ain't even got to be the radio. It's just a lot of these people on the internet. You know, it's just too much access. It makes you wonder if back in the day, if Pac and Big had been on the internet, what would that have been like?
Oh man.
You know, and I was just talking about that the other day. I did say this. I said if we grew up like that, ain't no telling. We probably would have been reckless too. Ain't no telling, right? I can't. But it's just not good. There's no structure to things.
Right.
And, I think we just need to use it for more good. And I want to show people how to use it for good. You know, like I said, we got kids to raise. Let's show these kids how to be raised the right way.
That's facts.
You know.
That's facts. New generation.
New generation. Because I'm gonna tell you now, if we don't do it, then it's gonna be detrimental for the next generation. If we don't make that change now, it's going to be. We right now at our age and late mid-20s and up, or late 20s and up, we gotta be the ones to mold this generation.
Of course.
Definitely got to.
Or else they'll be socially engineered by the media, which stands for manipulated entertainment designed to influence all.
Yeah. Like you got show young ladies how to be sexy without feeling like they gotta show everything. You know, there's other ways to be sexy. You know, we gotta show them how to not feel like that's what they need to do to make it or be accepted. And then same with men. You know, we need to show them opportunities to lead and you know, work with each other instead of going against each other, you know. And that's just a whole different topic. But I think I believe music is a big part of that because music inspires. You know, Lucifer was his gift, you know. And you got to understand that he was the king of music back at one point. So when you got Lucifer, who now is Satan, and he turns and corrupts the music, what you think is going to happen? Right. It's all a part of the process. It's all a part of the process. So that I just look at it from a deeper perspective. And we're good because there's variety, but we still got work to do, for sure. I'm not against it. I like a lot of different music, but I'm even trying to be more cautious about the things I listen to now. And that, as I told you before, I'm being cautious about the type of music I make. So yeah, that's where I am with it.
I like that. We're on to our last question. Final question of the interview. This has been amazing. I really like your insights and perspectives on everything. I love it. Our last question. What can we expect from you in the near future?
More projects. Definitely more projects. When I say projects, I mean like there's gonna be a lot of just raps coming out, like me rapping over beats. Not necessarily singles, but just content on YouTube for the reels. There's gonna be more singles, and right now, you know, I am in the process of working on an EP. I will not yet inform everybody about the name of it. I do have the name, but once we get halfway, if not over halfway done with it, I will announce it. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But yeah, you know, I'm just looking. I just want to put out content for y'all, and I appreciate the ones that have supported me. It means a lot. I really do. I don't take that for granted. Sometimes it might be just a few likes, and sometimes it'll be more than that. But everybody counts because you don't have to take the time to listen. And I know you're going to be the ones to get other people on my music. So everything Syd Coops, that's SYD222 on all streaming platforms. You can definitely just check me out and just stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, subscribe, and just stay tuned. There's more to come.
Nice. All right, good 50 minutes of heat, man.